Good morning. Today we'll be changing the valve cover on my mom's 2000 Chevy Aveo. And so the valve cover right here, you'll need a screwdriver. This is a E10, which is basically reverse Torx bits, I guess you could call it. You need one of these, and then you need a T40 Torx bit. So I went with a Felpro. I like Felpro, so that's what I went with. There's other brands you could get. Doesn't really matter, I don't think. But so here you're gonna start by taking this off. A little cover for the coil packs. You got a T40. Take those two coil pack bolts off. Take that plug off. Be careful with the plug. Don't break it. So let's get started. I'll be right back. So here's the bolts. Just pull them out. Pull them out. Just set them right here out of the way, wherever you like to set them, I don't care. And then on the clip, on the electrical clip, make sure you pull this locking tab. I don't know if you can see that. Just pull it back, and then you press it. Just be careful with it, and it should slide right out. Sometimes it could be a pain in the butt. And then pull this coil pack out. There it is. It's probably all full of oil. Yep. So we will get that fixed. Obviously it's leaking. There's not supposed to be oil all over them. So look at here. Full of oil, so you can tell it's leaking. It's supposed to be like this, nice and dry. That's what we got. So we got two of them leaking real bad. Let's get this taken care of. So now we have this wire, I don't know what you would call it, but it kind of just protects the wires going across. Be careful with it. Pop it up and pull it to the side. It's got little latching clips. Just gently pry on it, it'll pop right out. And then we're going to take off the bolts. We got one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bolts, it looks like. I'm probably going to have to remove this also. And that just pops right up and out of the way. So you could get to the other bolts. Shouldn't be a problem. Now I'm going to take all these bolts off and I'll get right back with you guys. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Okay, now we're going to pull the valve cover off. Make sure these clips is out of the way. And what I did, I just grabbed it, pull up, get this wire out of the way. Just work it out. Boom. You also have a hose right here. It has this clip here. Make sure you do not lose the clip. And here we are. And that's it. Here's the old gasket. It's all broken. Look at it. Old and hard. Old gasket. So here I'm gonna put some degreaser on it. I use Purple Power. You could use whatever you want just to clean it up. Nice and clean job. You know, it's pretty filthy. And just make sure you get all the old gasket material out. See how it's all broken out in there? You want to make sure you get all that out, or else you're going to have a lot of problems. So I'm going to take that old gasket out, spray it up, and get back to you. So I'm just going to spray it all up. Adjust this right here. Spray it all up. And I'll let it sit a few minutes, maybe 4 or 5 minutes, 10, whatever you think. You could even hit it twice. Sometimes, if it's real bad, you're going to want to hit it twice. Get it all nice and clean and pretty. Clean work is the best work. And I'm using, again, Purple Power. Good shit. And then I'll let it sit for a while and I'll just rinse it off. I'm gonna let that dry out in this nice California sun. Nice beautiful day. But next step is make sure you clean your surfaces real good where your gasket mates. See that? You want a nice clean surface. This is nasty. So you could either use starting fluid or brake parts cleaner. Spray some on a rag, nice clean rag, clean it all up. Also, we have oil in our spark plugs. So I'm just gonna open them up, let it drain down. It'll probably smoke a little bit, but once you run it, it'll burn it out. No big deal. So make sure clean all your surface all the way around, up and around. Make sure you do that. If not, you will probably have a leak. So let's get to it. So here's the one that's full. There's two of them full of oil actually. Two are clean, two are full. Look at that. Nasty. Oil dripping. We'll let it just go down into the cylinder. It'll smoke a little bit when you start it, but it'll burn out. And then good idea to change your spark plugs now. Make it easy. And then got the gasket to put on here. Just kind of self-explanatory, just slides right into place. You get the idea of that. So I'm gonna get that on. I'll be back with you guys and clean up those spark plugs. And as you can see, my mating surfaces are nice and clean. Very important if you don't want it to leak. Also, I'm gonna put a little bit of silicone, black silicone, right here on the corners. Those will tend to leak on both of them because they're sharp corners. I just put a little dab. You don't need a lot. Just something to help seal. Another thing to note, these bolts do not come out. So just, you know, you might have to fight with them a little bit to get it out. But now we got it all cleaned up, new gasket on. So I'm gonna put a little bit of silicone right here on the corners. And I'm using ultra black gasket maker, oil resistant. Make sure you get a good one. That way you have no leaks. So I'm gonna put a little bit on the corners right here. That's where it's most prone to leak. So just a little bit, you don't need a lot. Just to give you a little bit of help on the sealing. Just where it flexes. And that should do it. We're gonna pop this on. Oh shit. Make sure you get your clip back in place. Clip back in place. And slide this baby on. Gonna have to hide it a little bit. And it is on. Oh. Okay. All right, and that is in place. Then we're going to torque it down. I'm going to use my Matco torque wrench right here. It calls for 71 inch-pounds. So if you don't have a torque wrench, you can snug it. Just do not over tighten it. You will have problems. So I'm going to go ahead torque this down, and then I'll get back with you guys. So I got my meter set at, my torque wrench set at 8 foot-pounds. And start in the center. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you should be good to go. So we got everything torqued. Make sure when you put it together, put that vent tube back on, or else you'll have a vacuum leak and you're going to create more problems for yourself. Just make sure you clip it on. Pop it in, pops in real easy. Then next we're going to put in our coil pack. I got my spark plugs all cleaned out. They look good. Put the coil pack in. Push it down into place. And then get your 2 screws. Your electrical plug. Pop that back in. You're going to pop this back into place. And then your little cover right here. So I'm going to go over the basic tools you need. So you need an E40 reverse Torx bit is what I call it. It's well, you probably won't be able to see it. E40. I'm sorry, E10. Apologize. Thinking about E40 the wrapper. And then Torx bit T40 and an E10, a ratchet, screwdriver. Torque wrench is not necessary. If you tighten these, you could do a basic, just snug them down real good. Don't over tighten them, you'll break them. Maybe a scraper. I use a little scraper here. 5/8, the ratchet extension. 5/8 to get the plugs out so I could clean the oil out. And that's pretty much it. If this video was helpful, let me know. Give me a thumbs up, a like, a follow. I'd really appreciate it. Remember, the torque wrench, you really don't need it. So here it is. Just gonna finish everything up. The rest is pretty self-explanatory. And I'm sure my mom will be very happy. No more oil leaks on her driveway. So thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it.